name is Tom Carroll. I'm chairman of the LVTP board. I have along with the board welcome you tonight to our August meeting. And I'd like you to first join us in prayer before we get started with the meeting. Oh God, our Creator, from your provident hand we have received our right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. You have called us as your people and given us the right and the duty to worship you, the only true God, and your Son, Jesus Christ. Through the power and working of your Holy Spirit, you call us to live out our faith in the midst of the world, bringing the light and the saving truth of the gospel to every corner of society. We ask you to bless us in our vigilance for the gift of religious freedom and liberty. Give us the strength of mind and heart to readily defend our freedoms when they are threatened. Give us courage in making our voices heard on behalf of the rights of your church and your people, and the freedom of conscience of people of faith, of all faith. Grant, we pray, O Heavenly Father, a clear and united voice to all your sons and daughters gathered today in this decisive hour in our history of our nation, so that with every trial withstood and every danger overcome, for the sake of our children and grandchildren, and all who come after us, this great land will always be one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And we ask this through Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. Amen. If I can have everybody rise for a pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We did all that there. And you have the national anthem there. I'll play there and stay right for the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you sing of the dawn's early light? What so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose bright stars and bright stars through the perilous tide.
For ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming,
And the rocket's red roses singing there, it blew through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Okay, so the first thing I would like to do is welcome some very special guests here tonight. And that being, first, Lisa Scheller. Lisa, where are you? Lisa Scheller needs to win this race. Susan Weil is unacceptable to be a representative of the people of the 7th Congressional District. I am so proud that I endorsed Lisa 2 years ago. I am proud that she is working so hard. And I ask everyone here today, she needs to be our focus in the next 90 days, however many days. 96 days. Also here today, Dean Browning, who's a former board member who's running for the Pennsylvania Senate 14th. Dean Browning, thank you for coming out. They redistricted, as we all know, and lines were drawn. The 14th Senate district is a new district here in the Lehigh Valley. It is a plus B district, but let's remember the Dems are out of control. In this district, we have a large Hispanic population where they share our values, and this whole stuff that his opponent can't even answer what is a woman. We need to help Dean as well, because we need that voice in the Senate. Thank you, Dean, for running. Jared Coleman over there, he's my favorite energizer bunny, as I call him. Jared decided he was going to run after just running last year for the school board in Parkland and really making some waves over there and saying, we will stand up for our children. And he's been a magnificent voice for our children in that part of the school district. And he saw the garbage that was going on, and he saw the reprehensible representation we were getting from our sitting senator, Pat Brown, and he said, I'm going to run. And he won that race, and we're going to get him into the Pennsylvania Senate, and he's going to be a voice for the people of Lehigh Valley. Thank you, Jared, for running. Jimmy's running the RNC, the Hispanic Outreach Center, Community Center there on Union Boulevard, so if you want to get involved with the party politics at any level, Jimmy will help you and direct you. Joe Shell, I see, is here. He's the chairman of Lehigh County Republican Committee. Joe, where are you? I'm sorry for coming in today. Thank you for coming out, Joseph. You know, we have had some very, that's Glenn Dyson earlier. Glenn Dyson is the chairman of the North Indian County Republican Committee. Thank you, Glenn, for being here. I also see another candidate standing here who many of you are familiar with because Beth Finch is stood here as our education chair and talked to us a lot about what's going on in our school district. She's running in that same house seat against Schlossberg. Anybody who knows Schlossberg knows that he's a hardcore leftist. They all say she can't win because it's a district that is designed for him. But guess what? She's going to win because we have a waiting election year where the people in her district do not want the CRT. They do not want this transgender crap that's going on in our schools with our children. And Beth is going to win that race in the fall. Thank you for doing that. Standing up. I really have a special thanks for the two chairs of the county parties because we have had historically a lot of divides here in the Lehigh Valley over the last, well, maybe decades in some ways. And Joe and Glenn have stood up, and they are working together with all of the other stakeholders in the valley, including, I know I've been in numerous meetings where we have met with the chairs of the Republican women in both counties, the chairs of both county parties, the Tea Party and other conservative groups. And I will give you a little heads up. There's a hold date for September 25th where we believe there's going to be a great rally in the valley where all the conservative stakeholders are going to be there to help get voter registration to get out there. It's going to be an amazing event. And we will announce who will be there soon enough. But I also want to thank the people that we think will probably be there. No promises yet. But there are two campaigns that have their representatives here. Mastriano, why don't you guys stand up there over there where you are? You know, the same thing that applies for that Senate race and Amendment last year with the Andre Glover here who's here to support Dr. Rose. You know, we hear a lot of very contentious stuff going on in the primary about this one not being conservative enough or not. They were all fair questions. It was all a fair battle. And these two men are running to keep Fetterman out of the Senate and to keep Josh Shapiro out of Harrisburg because he's there now doing damage. Josh Shapiro should be arrested for not prosecuting our governor who killed people. Rachel Levin was responsible for the death of many of our elderly people in Pennsylvania. Josh Shapiro sat back and didn't do anything about it. And now he's threatening people in Pennsylvania for standing up for things like voter integrity and asking questions about an election that we know in 2020 was rigged. And we know what's even worse is that they are going to continue to do it unless we fix it. And the last thing, and on a not so positive note, but I did want to draw this attention to people. We have fought a lot of battles internally, all fair and good. But it seems like everyone's working to get along except for one small little group of people who are deciding that for their own, in their own mind, that we, the people, representing themselves in their own mind, saying that they are going to change everything in Northampton County, in Bethlehem City. It's disgusting what they're doing, because all the rest of us simply want to get Lisa Scheller elected, and Jared Coleman elected, and all the other people that we just mentioned, and they want to distract the committees and bring it together, and it's disgusting, and they need to stop. And that's all I have to say about that. So we'll do the report here quickly. 6658 membership, total bank balance $65,700, credit line $10,000, and then where's my loan here? Why is that not moving here? Okay, couple years ago, actually, we started talking about how we need sort of a second economy in America. Many of us started talking about it for a long time. We need to support businesses that are conservative, money people. And so we started a patriot conservative business directory that we continue to grow and build. And we included people like Dr. Justin Graff there and his business and his business, and let's see who else. And Bob Hines for their business. And I don't want to exclude anybody here, but we know a lot of people here have a lot of good businesses, and we want to send our members their business to these people. So support that. We have some people over here. If you have a business or a friend that has a business and you want to put in that directory, go over there to the table and make sure that we get you signed up for that. Okay. First time attendees. Who's here today for the first time? Raise your hand. All right, so we have the Bacon Freedom Coalition. If you believe in our values and you want to work to get Republicans, conservatives, really not Republicans, conservative elections, you can see Andrew here because he's been helping to knock on doors in the 2020 cycle, I think it was. He knocked on 30,000 doors, not only here in the Lehigh Valley, but up in the Wilkes-Barre Strait area as well. Because all of Pennsylvania counts on us being on the ground, telling our friends and neighbors about the truth about what's going on. So what do we have here? Okay, we sent out a hashtag, and basically you should have gotten it. We hope you did. We hope you bought those tickets. You can buy those tickets today if you didn't get them. But we're going to draw that raffle at the September meeting.
September meeting. Yeah, tickets for sale.
And tonight we will do that 50-50 raffle at the end of the night, so please continue to buy your tickets. We'll take the break like we always do. So buy your Second Amendment raffle tickets and your 50-50 raffle tickets. And what else? We also have Randy Critters probably over there with their gun raffle. So buy your gun raffle tickets. We sell 100 and then we draw that every time we sell 100 tickets. And if you don't have cash, you can get Joey's t-shirts and use that to buy merchandise which you use a credit card. And then don't forget to buy Andrews and Cannolis. And then of course, Melissa over there selling her hot dogs. So buy her hot dogs and give her some money. I don't believe we have a lot of merchandise out tonight. We're going to be restocking that. But the one thing that I know Andrew keeps yelling at me and said, you don't like sitting on the hard seats or buying your little cushions here. We're going to be sort of restocking and rethinking the use of merchandise, and we'll be fully on board at the Pink Rose in August. And I know that we're going to bring up Valerie Ferguson and then Valerie is going to talk about the support of the troops.
So before I do that, I'm going to Washington, D.C. tomorrow, and we're going to see Lady Gaga on Monday. Do you think I should?
Yes.
All right, so most of you know me. Support the troops. We send free care packages to our military. I'm the short one in the group. Thank you. So happy Thursday, and I know it's hot, but isn't it great that we can come here get energized with like-minded individuals the same as us. And I want to thank, give a round of applause to all our board members and all the volunteers volunteers, because you don't realize they come out 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon to love all this stuff and get started. So let's give a round of applause. And if anybody wants to volunteer, Emily in the back, last table, she'll take your name. And then you'll get a call, because Andrew calls all his girls. Andrew. But men are welcome too. Okay. So, what do? We said free care packages for military to our new members that don't know that. We're always looking for items. You people have been very, very generous over 13 years. And at this point, this week, we'll go 3,252 packages over the 13 years of free care packages to our military. So if you know so excited, if you want to write a letter, we've got plenty of stationery out there. I asked you people, I need letters, because right now we have no kids in school. So we're really down to nothing with letters. And I'm here tonight, but we have some stationery back there. But you know what? A lot of us have passions. And I'd like to talk real quickly about that. Some people I know like to fish, Dr. Jordan. Some people like to golf, and we have 2 opportunities for golfing. One at the Trump golf course in Jersey. There's Susan Kurtz over there later, if you're a golfer. And I have one for Gold Star parents. But some people have different passions. One of my passions is supporting our military. But I'd like to introduce you to Susan Wheeler, who's been a member of the Lehigh Tea Party for years. Susan, come over here. Her passion is quilting. And I want to show you. 5 years ago in August of 17, she and her friends made a quilt. And it was raffled off here. She came to me 4 months ago and said, Valerie, would you like another quilt? I said, I'm not going to say no. Well, this is, we have a quilt to show you. There's only 100 tickets, kind of like the gun raffle. You know, when you come here, you have to bring the wallet. And then if you don't have your wallet, you have to bring a credit card. But anyway, the money goes 100% to packing those packages. You don't take anything. I will say when they're packing, they take a little nibble of pretzel or something. But other than that, Paradise Supply, gas, all the things, and that has 2 eagles on it. So tonight we are selling. It is gorgeous, isn't it? But Stu did all this with her friend Sharon. And I just want to thank her very much. And thank all of you who support interest, from a letter to a toothbrush to hard candy, which we need. And thank you very much. And here's, as always, a typical thank you. Okay. Here's what we get. Dear Blair and Valerie, please accept this email with sincere appreciation from the airmen down deployed. Your package found us in its way to the airmen attached to the 577 Prawn Beach Squadron and the 557 Expeditionary Red Horse Squadron, which is comprised of electricians, carpenters, heavy equipment operators, plumbers, general managers, and HVAC technicians. I'm sure some of you relate to that. Our unit includes airmen from all walks of life, from 21 different states, coming together to form 2 squadrons and 1 team. I'm sorry, but I might have to shout because so many people are talking.
There's a quiet sign up there. There's a quiet sign up there.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's a speaker being quiet, please.
And this is the captain of the USA AM. So he took the time to write this, and we'll be listening. Majority of our group is from Colorado, Florida, and Nevada, and 7 members here from the great state of Pennsylvania. No matter where we are, from your prayers are always welcome. Please understand that we are very much appreciating efforts and support of the military forces overseas. We also ship in America one package, overseas the whole entire time that they're deployed. So I thank all of you that have contributed. If you want to raffle, we'll be over there during the break, whatever. But please listen to our speakers, and thank you very, very much. And thank you very, very much to you.
Just gonna announce something.
Jimmy Schumer, where are you? Get up here, come on.
Say rápido, rápido, rápido.
Of course you should know Jimmy. He said he wanted to make an announcement, so...
Jimmy, apúrate.
Raise right. Good afternoon, everybody. Before I start, please, I would love to just join me in a round of applause to Andrew, Tom, and everybody on the board because they are doing a fantastic job every month doing this and also organizing the visuals at the here. Now, for the people that doesn't know me, I'm Jimmy Suba. I am the Hispanic Latino Outreach Coordinator for the RNC here in Pennsylvania, and my office is here is the 1113 Union Boulevard. So we are organizing many incidents there, but the reason I'm here is because we are less than 100 days to election day. And we have a good team of field organizers here. Zach is one of them who is exclusively for Lehigh County. Ryan is back there. He's also for Northampton County. And there are few organizers for each county. But my goal right now is we need volunteers because we have a team of 4 or 5. It's not enough, so we can get Lisa, Mastriano, De Rosso, and Dr. Oz elected. We need every one of you to help us out knocking doors, making phone calls. We are going to start making phone calls this Friday at the Northampton County Republican office. But at the same time, we're going to be doing the same at 6 p.m. And tomorrow Friday. But at the same time, we're going to be doing the same from my office in Allentown, again, 1113 Union Boulevard. And please, go meet with Zach or Ryan who's back there. Put your name on it. We need you as a volunteers because we cannot do it alone. We need your help because without you we cannot get Republicans and also conservative candidates elected to office, and we need you to do that. So that's one of the goals. The other thing that we're going to be doing right now in my office, and also feel free to join. As you know, in 2-3 weeks, depending on the school district, we are going to start classes, and there are many schools going from pre-K to high school that they are in very bad shape. There are many kids that they don't have the money to afford school supplies. So I am making a call right now. We need of your kindness to donate anything related to school supplies. And even we can take money as well, and we can go and buy stuff. If you have a check, we can do that. Now again, feel free whenever you're close to the Northampton County Republican office in Bethlehem, also the Lehigh County Republican office in Allentown, my office in 1113 Union Boulevard in Allentown, or you can also, if you are attending the big roads at the end of the month on Saturday, August the 27th, feel free to bring it here as well. Anything is going to be of help. It could be 1 pencil, or a box of pencil, or 0 box of pencil, or notebooks, or whatever you feel like, please. Again, we need volunteers. Please help us out to help the candidates right now. And also we need the school supplies. Okay, that's all. Thank you.
All right, Tim.
Evening, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank you for coming in tonight. And tonight we have our Big World tickets on sale. You can go to the Eventbrite but you're going to be paying $3 more for them to handle your ticket. So if you got time during the halftime or throughout the evening, go into that, sit down and write yourself up some tickets for that big roast. If you go to the Eventbrite site and you're going to buy some tickets more than one, you've got to let Susan know. You go to LVTP.org and you've got to tell her who the people are that are coming with you. We need their names. Their names will be on a thing for them to wear, and they'll also get them a big roast wristband. We have 2 tubs back there also, which will go off on the day of the big roast. One is a $400 tub of cheer, which is a $10 a piece raffle. You can't beat that, guys and girls. We also have a wine basket of cheer for the ladies with mixers and what have you. That's at $5. You can't beat that one either. We have premium sponsors. We have gold and we have silver. I have been out every day the past few weeks, out there soliciting, trying to get this big roast to take off. And not only for that, whatever I solicit goes into the coffers of this tea party. We don't survive any other way but through donations. And with your donations, it helps our party survive and get across what we have to say. So, with the premium sponsors, we have gold and silver. The gold sponsorship is $1,000. It allows you 4 tickets to the big roast. It allows you to talk about your business. It will give you a table to display anything that you have to display with your business. And you have a chance to talk for the 10 minutes in front of the crowd. The silver sponsorship is a $500 sponsor. 5 minutes of talking, the same thing with the display at the table, but you get 2 free tickets with that to the big roast. Now, I've been fortunate enough to sell a few of those, and also along the way, I've also gathered $100 sponsors. And there's also been people out there who have been donating also for the cause. So just make sure on the Eventbrite, if you buy more than 1 ticket, you reach out to Susan, who's in our party in the back doing the big roast ticket. She's waiting right now. And you've got to let her know the names of the people that are going with you, so we have that. We are in desperate need of volunteers. The big roast cannot operate without the help of the volunteers. We need people that's going to serve the food, and we also need people to help with the cleanup. And with that, we have Sim, we have Moya's Catering, we have Dunk Tank, we also have a bouncy thing for the kids. So if the kids do come with you, there's hot dogs, hamburgers, and all kinds of salads for them to eat. So everybody come on down, have fun. We're going to have a great day out there. And thank you.
I think we have some silver sponsorship for tonight's speech. Thank you, Jim. Where are we going for recruitment committee? Okay, we really thrive on volunteers. We've done a great thing here with this organization. We have the nation's largest tea party, and we have successfully done a lot, including we got together initially a group of 40 grassroots organizations from across the state that is now over 85 to 90 of these groups. And we pushed forward an election integrity declaration, and we are pursuing that. So there's a lot going on where we are going to our legislators, and we are lucky enough tonight that we have one that's going to be here to talk about some of the good things that are going on in Harrisburg. So we're happy to hear from him tonight. But we have this volunteer recruitment committee that we're setting up to really better organize how we do things, so we're not always up here month-by-month begging. So, okay, we're going to be upgrading our membership system right now, and I won't go through all the reading of all that, but Tom Campione, who, you know, for so many years, put this all together for us. As we know, he had that stroke last October, but he's doing tremendously well. He has been working behind the scenes to upgrade our membership, and he's going to be here at the September meeting to present it to everybody. So we're welcome Tom in September. And we have such a great debt of gratitude that he survived and is thriving and couldn't give it up in terms of his fight for saving our country. So he's been behind the scenes helping us with this. And God bless Tom and thank him. We're looking forward to seeing him in September. Okay. Like I said, before we get to our speaker, I just wanted to add one little thing here with the divides that we all have. All of us are working together, not only here in the Valley, but across the state with these statewide organizations and this coalition that has developed that we are driving force behind, and all the things that we're doing. And we need to put a stop to the small group of petty people who keep saying that they are going to go and make sure that things are correct in North Hampton County. We know we had corrupt leadership there before, and they have to put a stop to this now. So I'm begging them to stop this now before you destroy everything, including our candidates' campaigns. So with that being said, and not so much as a negative note, I'm so thrilled with Senator Dutchess here today. He's been a solid voice for conservative values in Harrisburg, and I want to welcome you to the stage today. And everybody give him a very welcome.
Exactly the reception from the Independence Hall or wherever it is down in Philadelphia. Hey, I want to thank you all for inviting me out here, and I also truly want to thank you for your involvement in getting people out to vote. And I want to make sure I don't miss anybody. Lisa, Dean, Jared, and Beth, thank you for stepping up. I truly need more conservatives, true conservatives down there. Both our governor, the attorney general, and also the last three secretaries of state should have been impeached by now. And unfortunately, we don't have enough people with the guts to do what's necessary, as well as four of our Supreme Court justices. I had to, when they rewrote the congressional district maps, I had the impeachment resolutions against those four back in 2018, and when leadership was bucking me on it, I said, listen, if you don't stop them now, they're going to be like 3-year-olds, they're going to come back and do it again. Lo and behold, September 2020, that's exactly what happened. They wrote legislation from the bench that changed our election laws, things they do not have the authority to do. They gave me a lot of grief whenever I said that the election was basically a joke, and it was because you can't certify an election if you're not following the election law when you're having one. And we did not follow the law. We did not follow the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. I'll give you a little bit of background on what we are doing in the Senate as far as the investigation. Now, I have to use the word investigation because under the Constitution, I don't have the authority in the legislature to conduct an audit. So when people start saying that, well, why aren't you doing an audit like down in Arizona? Constitutionally, the only thing that I am allowed to do along those lines is I can conduct an investigation for the purpose of legislation. Now, because we had so many people doing so many things that were unlawful and unconstitutional, there's a lot we can do legislatively. But here's the thing, unlike a lot of other places, all these things that the media has been able to slam, a lot of investigations, they were doing things that would not be able to stand up in court. And I'll give you an example. One of the things, Catherine Engelbrecht and her partner Ralph from True the Vote, they got hold of us. They wanted us to hold a hearing on what became 2,000 mules. Now, like what we showed in my committee that happened here in Lehigh County, when you've got ballot drop boxes, ballot stuffing happens. Joseph, how many, was it 7?
Almost 1,000.
The number of races that were impacted was about 12.
About 2 dozen.
Yeah, about 2 dozen races fell within the margin of error on just the extra ballots that we found in Lehigh County. And they stopped counting after only 4 days. So you can imagine how bad it was. District justice races, school boards, you name it, for local governments. They were all up and they were all within the margin of error. We know ballot stuffing happens. In 3 days, I had the legislation drafted and we had it through the Senate. Problem is, it's been sitting in the House ever since to get rid of our drop boxes altogether. We're going to be effective with a lot of the stuff that we're doing in the investigation. We're making sure that what we bring can hold up in court. The reason I didn't have Catherine and Drew to vote there is because while we can verify the videos, what we cannot verify is their method of calculation. I've got top quality investigators that have national level certification, some of them written books on for the FBI and others on some of these techniques. And Catherine promised me since December she was going to get me the information so that we could verify it. That hasn't happened yet. So what I'm trying to get at is we've had some people also who claim to be our friends that are trying to send us down rabbit holes. We're not doing that. The stuff that we're bringing out is stuff that I know we can force legislation to happen to get things fixed. And by the way I'm doing it, the stuff that we find that should lead to criminal prosecutions, we will bring it out in a way that it will stand up in court, and then you folks around the state can start mobilizing to get Shapiro or somebody to do the prosecutions. Those people need prosecuted. There's stuff that's going to come out. I'll give you some information that we have. Shapiro and the Secretary of State tied us up in the Supreme Court, ran us out of money on the budget that we had. So now that the budget's redone, my investigative team is coming back. We're going to have them back in the saddle. A couple of things. These voting machines, we're already finding out that they never were certified here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Or they were certified late. Or they had, these are different aspects of things that have come up. They've had to rewrite security problems and lines of code, and they admitted this in front of the Louisiana Senate here a few weeks back. And if they have to make those patches, if it's more than one line of code, it can take over a year before the Election Assistance Commission recertifies the machine. So basically, you've got vulnerable systems running through 2 elections in that year's time. And these are known security problems. So if it's known to them, it's known to the hackers. It's known to the people who know how to access the machines. We're going to be calling Dominion in front of us, just like they were down in Arizona, and we're going to have some more pointed questions for them, as well as ESNS and others. What I'm getting at is we are definitely working to get this stuff cleared up, make it public, and do it in a way that once we find the criminal stuff, if it comes out as part of our investigation to create legislation, it will be solid evidence. I wish I could tell you some more of this stuff. One of the things, as a former investigator, publicity destroys evidence. And if I reveal too much, that the opposition is going to know where we're heading. And I would like tell you, but I do know, talking about Steve, Boogie Crowder, the people who hired from Onway Stage to come in to do the work. And with that, can I take a few questions? Yeah, please. Oh, come on, you got questions? Come on up, Doctor.
Yeah, I love your enthusiasm about the to the Senate and of course obviously to the House. The problem with our current governor, I don't think so inclined to work with you. So what solutions do you have to that process? And I'm thinking of a constitutional amendment, for example.
Well, there's two advantages. The question was, because of the governor's veto, having to have 2/3. Here's the magic thing. With constitutional amendments, we don't need 2/3. Also, with impeachment, they don't need 2/3 in the House to do the impeachment. We need 2/3 when it gets over to the Senate to convict. But I know the evidence is there. I brought it out in my impeachment resolution against all the justices already. It's Richard, by the way, the former Secretary of Health. Well, no, it's Richard Levin, Dick Levin. He should have been impeached.
Hi there. I have a couple questions here. So my name is Dr. Justin Roth. I represent the Medical Freedom Committee here, also the Pennsylvania Coalition for Informed Consent, local chiropractor here. So I have some specific questions about medical freedom. I know you're here talking about election integrity, and I heard that. Are you familiar with House Bill 213 by any chance?
Bill numbers are not where I'm.
Okay.
But
So I can fill you in on what that actually is. It's a joint resolution to get a question on the ballot to vote for medical freedom to be added to the Pennsylvania Constitution. And I can read it specifically. I'd like to get a response on that to see what your thoughts are. So it's the right of an individual to refuse any medical procedure, treatment, injection, vaccine, or prophylactic, and may not be questioned or interfered with in any manner. So that comes across for
I'll tell you something, for me personally, I'll give you two examples. One, the anthrax shot just totally screwed me up. I was forced to get it with the military. I refused to get the COVID vaccines. My wife was kind of forced into it for her work, and she's suffering side effects ever since she got the shot. Absolutely.
I respect that. Excuse me, that candid answer. That brings me to a second question I have, especially knowing somewhat of your stance on this. I don't know if you're familiar, there's another recent bill that was passed, the Senate Pharmacy Act, House Bill 2679. Are you aware or familiar or remember that was signed into law on July 11th by Governor Wolf? Are you familiar with that one?
What does that mean?
It's the Pharmacy Act. There's a lot in that, but one of the things that was accomplished through that law is that it expanded the scope of practice of pharmacists to be able to inject children with criminal emergency use medication. Were you aware of that?
Did it specifically say experimental medication?
I'm calling that.
Okay. If it had been in there like that, I would have said, or added in a no vote for it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think I might have voted for that one actually because
There were only 4 senators that actually voted against passing that. Mastriano, Brooks, Phillips Hill, and Gephardt.
Yep.
Yeah.
I do remember that. But when it comes to that vaccine, the parents hopefully are going to have the same attitude that I did, I'm hoping. I wasn't aware that they were allowed to start doing the vaccines up and down the line. I thought that was, I knew that they were expanding practice to give vaccines, but I didn't know that they were looking at that.
So I would caution you moving forward in future bills to read them in full and consider that.
Well, like I said, if it had that language in it, I would have, what you had said.
They're not gonna put that language.
I know, well, here's my thing. We get a ton of bills come through. I do try to read them all. Joseph, the security team, and the cleaning people down here know I stay up and I read this stuff.
I understand.
I can't catch it all. I wish I could. And when I make a mistake, I'm glad and I'm very happy to admit it all.
I understand it's about accountability, and that's why I'm bringing this up.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Anybody have one more question? We have one final question, you think? I think we have a hand over there.
Yeah, back there.
Hi, my name is Diane.
Hi, Diane.
I want to go back to the election.
Yes.
Any question? I have been following everything about the election from election day 2020. All the hearings, all around the country, not just here. And we were all counting very much on Doug Mastriano getting these audits done and doing something about it. He had gone to Arizona and followed all that. I used to live in Arizona, so I'm familiar with all those politicians as well. And when it got taken from him, I haven't heard anything. Now, I know you're telling us a little bit, and maybe you can't tell us some things, but I would like to know what has actually been done since Senator Mastriano has not been able to do anything on that front.
Okay, I'm happy to answer that. Actually, I was when I started the whole Arizona trip. I mentioned it to Doug, and he ended up getting hold of one of the network people. They ended up one of the independent networks. They funded the trip for me, Ross Hoffman, and Doug. I won't go into because it's kind of internal stuff of what happened, why he got removed from it. But I'll give you a couple of examples. Fulton County, Pennsylvania, not Georgia. Fulton County, Pennsylvania has the two most important voting machines in the country. One has never been used, and one was only used in the November 2020 election. I had made fought through the Commonwealth Board, again, Shapiro, those guys, and the Secretary of State, and Dominion, who could buy Fulton County, put us into court. I got approval from the Commonwealth Board to go down and take forensic images off of those machines, because we know there's software on there that doesn't meet the standards. Those machines should have never been used. Well, my team was down there. I'm getting a call from our chief counsel. You can't go there. You can't go there. And she didn't tell me why. She gave me a lot of excuses, but she didn't tell me why. My investigators were on scene. They were ready to go. And the attorney for Fulton County, Ben, who's no longer their attorney, was at Justice Weck's office in the Supreme Court, waiting for a court order to stop us. His associate was standing there bloviating for a half an hour almost while we were waiting to start. We were told 11 o'clock, get it started by the Commonwealth Court. The opposition was there with cameras taking pictures of my guys, one of whom wrote the book on forensic imaging. Another one, and the equipment that we were using. When they had that oh crap moment that these guys are serious, Justice Weck signed a state order preventing me from getting access to it. I was livid. I'm there texting my team, telling them, hey, why isn't this happening? Why hasn't it started? We can't get the attorney to shut up. We've got people on the inside that are running interference on us getting access to a lot of this stuff. But those two machines, we are going to be able to prove that they never should have been used in the first place. And that means that goes for all the Dominion machines across the Commonwealth. I'm truly confident that when we get access to that, we're going to be able to show it. So that's just one. There are others, but most of it we've been kept out of the SURE system, out of ERIC, by the actions of the Secretaries of State and the courts, and Shapiro. They've been pushing us into the court system and running us out of line. So it's not for a lack of having the right people or from not being equipped and ready to go. But thank you, I appreciate the question, because I know a lot of other people have that question as well.
Thank you, Senator. I want to thank you for coming because, we're not interested in 11 PS. And he doesn't give the PS, and he stood up for some more questions, and what I like about what he just said was, make mistakes, and if I make a mistake, I'm not up to it. So we're going to hope that he goes back and looks into that, and I want to issue Justin Broughton. That brings me to the introduction to Justin Graff. Many of you know him, Dr. Justin Graff, and he has presented to us several times over the last couple of years about this tyranny that's going on with our rights and our bodies. So I come forward here today.
It's a war on your health. Okay? And most importantly, it's so many facts, and so many people that we know present facts to people, and it doesn't matter because it's not in their heart, right? So, and I'm not here to preach at you or say that I'm better than you. If anything, I'm not, right? So I just really want us to keep this in mind. So when you hear someone say wake up, it's be sober, be vigilant. Okay? Because I see another part is that, with the relaxing of all the COVID restrictions, everybody's gotten complacent. They're going back into the world. And they're getting complacent, yet we can see they're turning up the heat right now. You can see it, what's happening. Okay? So, I think at the end of the day, too, as much as I hate to say it, this is not a battle of left versus right. It's not Democrat versus Republican, conservative versus liberal. Right? We don't battle against flesh and blood. Right? We battle against the principalities and powers of darkness. Okay? So we need to keep that in mind. Because these people on the left, when I talk to them, they're good people. They may not have the best information, and really, I think they're following, it's clear to us, they're following darkness. Right? It is so obvious and clear to us that they're following darkness. But yet, I see on the right side, we're given this illusion of choice in politics, right? Where it's Republican, Democrat, and it's like, well, we can't choose this guy, but we've got to choose this guy. And what's happening is we're being run into a false light. So we need to be really careful where we put our actions. So again, I'm asking for clarity. Take time to really think about the issues at hand. Okay. All right. So that is me there. I've been fighting this thing since the beginning because I just really, right from the beginning, it just didn't seem right. And so I've been fighting it. I've seen people wake up. I've seen people become sober-minded. It's been refreshing to see that, but there's still a lot of people out there that need this. So we will never get past this if we continue to comply. We need to take a page out of the left's book. As much as say they're out there and they're vocal and they're fighting, yet conservatives, when you can't get into a store because you don't want to wear a mask, you just either do it or you don't go to the store. We need to show up and be respectful, but stand our ground. And we need to know our rights. Because you can talk about moving to Florida or whatever you want to do, this thing's coming to get you. Right? So you either fight now, or it's going to get worse. I said from the beginning, if you can't fight the mask, you're not going to fight the vaccine. I was right on that. All right, so I have to give this disclaimer. My legal counsel told me to put this in here, so bear with me. The views expressed in this presentation are personal. In no way represent my profession or any other organization I work on. I'm not here to provide medical advice, but rather just a different perspective. You are responsible for you, as your decisions are your own. It is up to you to use your discretion and accept whatever consequences result from those decisions. I do not claim to be an expert on things, but rather an individual who pays attention to things correctly and is not afraid to challenge their status quo or even my beliefs. I expect the same of others. I'm sure those of you will do that. All right, so you heard my question to the senator there regarding this. This is a big issue here with House Bill 2013. Unfortunately, our House leadership did not bring this up for a vote before June. And now here with the break over the summer, it's highly unlikely that this will get on the ballot for 2023. There still are some more days in session where this could get pushed through, but it is highly unlikely. Most likely won't get onto a ballot until 2025. So unfortunately, again, I always feel like I'm the guy that's bringing bad news. But it does not look like we're going to get there. But what we do need to do is stay on top of our legislators, hold them accountable for when this bill does come through, that they're going to vote it through. Because this thing is really the bill that should be in every single state. It should be on every single state constitution. Okay, next slide. All right, so this is where we get conspiratorial here. Who is that? We hear all this talk about that. Okay, we have different definitions for this, but this is really the way I look at it. It's those who seek total control of the world's means of production systems and resources through coercion, manipulation, or force, thereby enslaving people and destroying the sense of self of the individual. Sound about right? Yeah. You guys are with me? So call it government, call it whoever you want, maybe the Rothschilds, maybe people we don't even know. I don't know. But there's something going on right now, and this health crisis is being used to control. It's used as a way to transfer wealth. I mean, it's pretty obvious to me, especially when you're following all the issues. Okay, next. All right, so I don't know if you guys have ever seen this. Was anybody in here born before 1983? Yeah, I would say pretty much everybody, me included. Yeah, a lot of people. What? Okay. So this is what most people are not aware of what's happened to the vaccination schedule. This is the regular childhood vaccination schedule. So this is the thing. Before COVID, before all this, there were people already aware of this. We're just seeing the same themes. It's the same thing playing over and over again here. So basically, we went from 1962, 5 doses, and 83, 24, and you can read 72 doses there.
That's not including COVID.
Yeah, that's not, they're getting that on the schedule, right? Now the monkeypox, that's going on today. All the monkeypox, right? And so when we look at why this actually occurred, in 1986, who was president in 1986? Reagan. Okay, we all love Reagan, right? There was an act signed to protect all pharmaceutical companies against any liability against any vaccine. Did you guys know that? Some people might have known that, right? Did you know about that? And you see an explosion of those vaccines right around that time. They're not liable. Okay. All right. So this is where a lot of people I know in our group, we got involved because they were showing up to their pediatricians and they weren't following the CDC schedule because they said that is crazy to do that to a young child who has no ability to tell what toxins are in it because it's not just water that's in those vaccines. Okay? So now we have parents challenging pediatricians. And as soon as the parent challenged them, they were a typical patient, they were getting kicked out of the practice. They were being discriminated against because they weren't following that, because they were asking questions. Sound familiar? Okay. So, the prime example here goes to the next one. This is actually how I personally started getting involved in the politics of things. This is a bill that was written by Daryl Metcalf back in 2019, actually, HB 286. And this addressed those very issues to try and remove some of the discrimination. It also addressed the incentivization that pediatricians actually have for fully vaccinating their children. So again, it's the same exact format that COVID is having. You can see it's top down. CDC, FDA, they're all regulating everything down, right, to the hospital administrations, and they're setting policy, and the doctors are just following orders. Because it's all about money. All about money. Alright, go to the next one here. Because then I bring up this example, some people might be like, oh, vaccines are good, vaccines are great. Well, right here, hepatitis B facts, I don't know if you know this, but it's only spread through sexual contact and IV drug use. I don't know about you, I just had a baby not too long ago. Home birth, by the way, not in the hospital. My wife is amazing, she's a rock star. So look at that. And he's healthy as can be. But what they do hours after a child is born, within hours, they give them this hepatitis B vaccine. I don't know about you, my son is not engaging in any of those risky behaviors. Neither is my family. There is no need for that. But if you skip that one, you're kicked out of the pediatrician's office. This is important, okay? This is what everybody who's been in this anti-vax movement has been talking about before all this. We were hoping that COVID would actually wake people up to all this to save children. Because you can even see right here, the various reports, this is already almost up to 2,000 deaths, which pales in comparison to the COVID shot. Right? And that's just one vaccine report to the bears. So the risks are definitely real. Next slide. Okay, so if you haven't heard of the bears, it's the vaccine adverse event reporting system. Over $4 billion already paid out by you and I, taxpayers. Right? Doctors are actually mandatory reporters. So if you get that COVID shot, like Senator there, your wife, she was injured by the vaccine. She needs to fill out a bears report or get her doctor. So it's a mandatory report for that doctor, or she can self-report. And so here's the thing, when we look at these statistics, less than 1% of any injuries or deaths are ever reported to the bears. That's a Harvard study that was done pre-COVID, looking at this. So basically, any numbers you can see, it's safe that you get at least multiplied by 10 up to 100. And I see it because people come in all the time saying, I had a reaction to the COVID vaccine. I had a reaction. Did you report it? No. That's where we make a stance. That's the fight. I don't understand why people don't get it. Complacency. Again, I'm trying not to offend people, but everybody's like, I'm not just talking to people in this room, but if you suffer an injury and know anybody that's had an injury, it's very easy to do a search how to fill out the bears report. Now, the criticism of the bears report, they'll say that it's not indicate causation, which is true, right? But correlation, okay. And it's difficult to really, flesh that out, but we definitely see when we see so many cases, it's hard to deny. Okay, so next one there. All right, so here's where we stand today. Basically, the bears over here, there are 29,790 deaths as of July 22nd reported to the bears as a result of the COVID vaccine, COVID vaccines. So again, that's maybe 1%. I think we got a lot more coming. Because that's another point to be made. Everybody thinks, well, you got the shot, oh, I'm fine. Hey, there are a lot of people that were exposed to asbestos, and then they get mesothelioma later, 20 to 30 years later. You don't know, you can't always link it right away. Okay, next one. And right here, we're up to serious injuries. The number is almost 250,000 serious injuries. So that's heart attacks, strokes, hospitalizations that are happening in secondary to these COVID injuries. And this is just the United States. Okay, next one. All right. So I don't want to get too deep into this. So again, I said before, this is a matter of the heart. Either you feel this or you don't. But sometimes we need to see some of the facts. So I'm going to go through this real quick and I'll weigh you down with a lot of the science. But early last year, a lot of women started experiencing changes in their menstrual cycle, too much bleeding, and they were gaslighted by people. The media was all over this saying that they were crazy. Now, fast forward 1 year later, the media is actually reporting on this. See, again, people have short memories. And when we actually look at this, there's a study showing that it's increasing bleeding with menstruation near a vaccination. Even people, say they're post-menopausal, they don't get periods anymore, breakthrough bleeding. And I've talked to personal patients of mine that have experienced this. So this is real. This is happening. Okay, next one. All right. So again, this was even published 2021 showing neurodegenerative diseases. The spike protein is toxic. Okay. Spike protein is toxic. It causes all kinds of neurological conditions: headache, nausea, dizziness, fatal brain clots. It's Bell's palsy, autism, Parkinson's disease, genetic microarrays. And you can go on with the list there. Next. Okay. So now we're also seeing oncologists and people reporting that their cancers are coming back. They're going into regression. They're extremely aggressive. Here's the mechanism of play that they're studying. Basically, it changes the metabolism of the cell that reflects what happens with cancer cells. So we're understanding this more and more. These are things you need to know moving forward. Next. Okay. So here we go. The study's in. Looking at natural immunity versus vaccination. This study right here showed a 13-fold increase in people who were vaccinated and getting what they call breakthrough infections. I'll just call it illness. There it is. There it is. And that anecdotally is what I'm seeing. The people who have received the most, again, let's quote, vaccines, those are the people that are getting sick. Not to say people who don't get sick. Who knows what it is? Is it cold? Is it flu? Is it COVID? Right? Okay, next. All right, so and amidst all of that, so again, this is where all logic just goes out the window. We recently had on July 15th, Javier Becerra re-signed the health emergency at federal level, and you can see it is 11 times now. This is what's keeping it going. Those emergency use injections that are out there, if this goes away, that means it saves the kids. Because only one of the shots is approved down to age 12. And actually, it's Comirnaty and Spikevax with Moderna and Pfizer. And I don't even know if those are being administered in the United States, to be honest. Okay, next. All right, it's a shame 2.5 years we're still talking about masks here. Again, it's pretty obvious. So they actually took this preliminary study looking at 2 school districts in North Dakota, and one followed mask mandates, the other one did not, and there was no statistical difference between the two. Okay, next. Not to mention, maybe you heard the bacterial overload that's in the actual mask there that would be more harmful to your body, especially not even getting the right amount of oxygen. Okay, next. So here's the thing, if I had more time, going into actually talking about the real issue here, what we really need to do, and that's actually take care of our own health, our God-given immune system. That's the answer. And I was showing you in the beginning when we saw the people who were dying, with COVID, not from COVID, because again, prepositions matter with that. Those people had comorbidities, different issues. And some studies show it's maybe 70% of issues are actually caused by lifestyle and environment. So those are the choices that we make. And I'm not here to shame anybody out there, but we need to take care of our health. Okay, we need to turn off the TV, turn off the media, go for a walk, talk to people, love people, right? That's what we need to do. Okay, because basically even here, we pastor on his deathbed said Bernard was right, the pathogen is nothing. So the virus is nothing, the terrain is everything. That means your body, your God-given natural immunity. That's everything. Okay, next. All right, so what can you do? So again, it seems kind of dismal with this, but a lot of my solutions all along have been really, really simple. I've heard a lot since I actually joined the Tea Party. They saw me up and said, "Hey, it's great to see some younger people around here." Which is great, right? They have more energy. But the problem is, people my age, we have families and we're working to support those families. So our time and energy is very limited. I mean, I'm thankful for my wife to be able to even allow me to put this presentation and be here in front of you today. So the thing is, if you're older, right, you're not useless, right? You can do so much. Write to your legislators, call your legislators, email, follow up on these issues. That's what you can do. I mean, there's so many things. But you've got to strengthen your faith. That's number one. Take care of health. You need to discern. What is discernment? Spiritual understanding. We need that. Because we need to be able to figure out the propaganda. It is strong right now. Reduce dependency on the systems. Like I said, my wife gave birth at home. We're not dependent on the hospital system. It's there if we need it for an emergency. We're not against medicine. There is a place for it. But try to work outside the system. Know your rights. Take a stand. We're going to talk about knowing your rights. And help connect others. The school boards do not lay that on these school boards coming this fall. In California, they're already talking about bringing these mask mandates back in San Diego. If you haven't seen that already, don't put it past them. I don't know what's going to happen. And here's again, they tell people who aren't comfortable wearing masks to stay home. How about the people? Hey, let people wear a mask if they want. Let the kids wear a mask. Kids who don't wear a mask, if you feel at risk, even with a mask, they stay at home. They stay home. You pick up your groceries outside. I'm sorry. But not. Support conservative businesses, like we said. Also, if you are going to another business that is really following a lot of these mandates, you need to challenge them. Support local good candidates that support medical freedom. Meet with your local reps and senators, especially on this HB 2013. We can't give up on that. Support Doug Mastriano for governor. He's got on his website some great descriptions on his stance on many of the COVID issues. One of the things that's most impressive is that he wants to challenge the hospital protocols, which I had a family member die from who was falsely diagnosed with COVID from a fraudulent PCR test. So, next one, know your rights. I mean, this is pretty self-explanatory right now. You need to know these things. You know, Title 7, 1964, Civil Rights Act, U.S. Constitution. You know that there's exemptions that play with masks and vaccines. Okay? And there. So finally, do not acquiesce. Civil disobedience and open defiance. Obey God, not man. Put on the armor.
So, Brian Eichfeld, we know him as the voice of the Tea Party. You know him for many years on those robocalls that we got to invite us to the meetings and the pit roast. He ran the pit roast for about a decade. And
he did a great job.
He's been on our board for many years and off and on. And he's here tonight to give us a presentation. So welcome, Brian.
Hello. Okay. So I want to talk to you about National Writer Congress. Fortunately, after COVID, I found this opportunity, and it's very exciting. Who here is worried about the future of their family and their children? Yeah. Well, here's how we can help. National Writer Congressman is we are a 64-year-old company, and I need to be louder. And we've been doing this for many years, and we are a membership organization, and this is our website. We give your voice power on Capitol Hill. It's the most comprehensive website when it comes to issues on Capitol Hill, and it's extremely easy to use. This is Congressman Sam Johnson. Congressman Johnson entered in the congressional record that National Writer Congressman is unique. We're different because we're not a lobbying organization, and we show no partiality towards candidates running for office. So we have no agenda when it comes to telling people what to think or how to vote. But we have a serious agenda when it comes to providing the facts and preserving our freedoms. With all the bias in the media, how important is to get accurate information? Pretty important, right? Well, here's how we help. Every Monday when Congress is in session, we send out a quick one-page review of what Congress did last year. But more importantly, we give a preview of what they're going to do this week. This enables you to tell your lawmaker exactly what you think before they vote. When do we, the people, usually hear about what happens in Congress? After it's already happened. So, on this page are many different issues that are coming up. And what I'd like to do is we're going to look at the Energy Freedom Act. So, whenever a critical issue comes up in either the state or the federal legislature, we send out what's called an action alert. See that up at the top. And in the action alert, it gives a description of the bill. This was sponsored by Ted Cruz, so we want to get our energy back and running. And then we give the arguments in favor and the arguments against. So you hear both sides of the issue. But here's the most important part. Here's where you can actually write to your congressman. So what you would do is you think you would like to pass this bill. So you would click on that up at the top there. I don't know if I did this. There we go. So you click on that, and then it puts it right in there. So you think that, and then you fit it in here as a concerned citizen, this legislature will affect me, and you can type in what you want. And then as you always want to type this last one in as a constituent. So it's that kind of easy. And then here's what the letter looks like. So you've got a letter, it's going to go to President Biden, Senator Casey, Senator Whitney, Congressman Long. Hopefully we have some changes on that list. But it goes out, it hits send, and it's going right to your Congressman and Senator. But we make it even easier with a mobile app. In the mobile app, you get top issues, action alerts, both state and federal. So here's one that just happened. The Convention of States. We all know that's one of the key issues to get our Congress with term limits. So we sent this out, and again, it gives both sides of the issue, and you can click Take Action, and there's what it looks like. It's going to go to your state reps, hit the talking points, you click on it, done, and there's your letter. It takes seconds. And once you've done this, you're not learning anything. You've joined other responsible Americans nationwide acting on the same issue at the same time. How important is it for the people who are paying the bills in this country to show up in numbers? That's when things get done. I'm doing this fast, by the way, because I don't have enough time. So, the other thing on the mobile app is Right Congress down at the bottom. You click on that, they're all your representatives, state and federal. So literally, you click on who you want to send a message to, and you can literally talk your message right into your phone or tablet, and you've just written a professional letter from your phone to their inbox. It's that quick and easy. Best of all, I don't know, Lisa's over there, we also have what's called e-voter. This tells you how your representative voted, and you can see exactly what happened. So think about it. You know, we elected Lisa, we're going to be able to hold her accountable for what she's doing, because she tells us one thing to get elected and votes another. Whose responsibility is it to hold her accountable and all of our representatives accountable? So it comes up, it shows exactly how the vote went, and this and I don't even remember what I clicked on. And then you can see down at the bottom how your representative voted. Susan Wild voted yes on this. And then up at the top here, you can click on that and tell them exactly how you feel how they voted. Now, does this work? Does it have an impact? That's what a lot of people ask. Well, let me tell you something. This happened last year. The Secretary of Education tried to put through a requirement that all school districts nationwide teach critical race theory. They put it in, and they wanted to put in the 1619 project and teach this throughout the country. Well, we sent out, this happened on April 19th, we sent out what we call a regulatory alert. So it doesn't go to Congress, it goes directly to the Department of Education. So you can see, when we sent it out, it was on May 6th. It was kind of the middle of the comment period. The comment period is 30 days. We sent out a regulatory alert, and they were flooded with comments. They got over 703% increase in volume coming into the Department of Education. 35,000, I know this is small, but 35,000 people wrote in. And Miguel Cordona backed down and he said he will not dictate or recommend specific curriculum be introduced or taught in the classroom. And he's not going to give extra money in grants to schools to teach it. How important is that? That we the people can rightly stop these things from happening. You know the nice thing is, out of that 35,000, our computer gurus went back and figured it out, 72% were written by National Writing Congress members. So, let me tell you something. I'm so proud to work for this company because of what we do. We give the people an opportunity to vote. And that's why you need to take the opportunity to vote on issues like these. So, here's the good news. Since we make it so easy for busy people like you to get the facts, that's the key, get the facts, and taking action. We become the single largest source of direct constituent mail to Washington, D.C. We have over 50,000 letters a month just going into Congress. That doesn't include our state issues, that doesn't include the regulatory alerts. So, it's so important for people to participate. Now, we are a membership organization, and there is expenses. And those expenses pay for mainly the research, all the computer programs that we have. So, here's what your investment looks like. Your total investment is entirely up to you. We have a single member membership, which is $290 a year. Then if you own a business, we have a basic business plan, which is $495 a year, and that allows 2 people to have access and get the information. And then our regular business plan is 3 members, and again, that's $700 a year. So it's critical to get involved. I'd like to introduce you to here. This is Richard Hollis.
Hi, folks. I work with Brian. I work actually from Maine to Virginia. I get to see red, blue, and purple states. One of the first things I want to tell you is there's a lot of angry people on both sides of the aisle. And they are exercising their right to vote and to vote, and it's making a difference. What we're talking about here is every time that you write a letter, and your legislators can tell you this because it came from their research, it's like 250 to 300 people talking when you write that letter. Think about that. 25, 30 people in the same constituent district, it can change their mind. Just 10 people writing a letter saying the same thing can change their mind. 25 people, they will literally stop and go investigate what's going on. So does this make a difference? Absolutely. Absolutely. The key to what we do is we get the action alerts out to you right before they're going to vote or with a 30-day window. There were just 4 bills that came down from the Democratic side to review or rebut what's happening with Roe versus Wade. Well, we saw them come out right away and sent the action alert out, and our members have already responded to those 4 things. That's how quick and easy it breaks it, and that's why it's important. So we've been doing this for 64 years. Not Brian and I, we're not. But there's about 240 roughly that do this every day across the country in all 50 states. We have helped our members know what's going on with things like the $600 deposit that the IRS was trying to monitor for every person who made a deposit over $600. It took about 36 hours to get that stopped. So we saw the EPA come through trying to make a power grab. This happened a little while ago. Sent it out to our members, it got stopped. So the people have the power not only to stop and let their Congress know what's going on, but the president pays attention also. I don't know if you know the story about David Chipman. He was one of the most liberal anti-gun activists. And the president wanted to nominate him for the ATF. Who thinks that's a good idea? We sent out a regulatory alert directly to the president's office. Guess what? It never made a nomination. You never heard a word about it. So your voice has power even in the president's office, even though you may not think so. Media's not going to tell you that. That's where you're going to hear it. So that tells you a little bit about who we are. We welcome you the opportunity to join your friends and neighbors because that's really what this is about. We don't arm twist. That's not why we're here. We do this because, I'll paraphrase a Ronald Reagan quote, let us not be the generation that has to sit on our porch and describe to our grandchildren what freedom was like and why I did nothing. Because I won't do it. That's why I'm out here every day. So we welcome you. We welcome the opportunity. We're going to be back here in the corner. We'll get some information from you. We'll share what we do, get out to see you. Any questions about what we do or any questions about who we are?
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Putting this together.
Thank you.
You know, there's a time and a place for everything, and we all have something we can do. And a lot of times we say we can't do anymore. Andrew and I have been fighting this battle in so many ways for the last several months. And sometimes we say we can't do more, and then we get the phone call and somebody says, "Can you do one more thing?" And you know what? The answer is yes, because we have to. So thank you, everybody that did their presentations tonight. I want to introduce you to Billy Moore here real quick before we start wrapping things up here. Billy's working with the Lisa Scheller campaign, and I promise him about a minute and a half with the microphone.
Thank you, Tom. My name is Billy. I'm with the Lisa Scheller campaign. I'm our political director over there. Just wanted to give you a quick update about how we're doing. Quite recently, we went to Puerto Rican Day Parade. We handed out about 1,000 pieces of literature. A lot of people were interested in taking that, and obviously hearing about the candidates. The fact of the matter is, right now, we're about 96 days away from the election. Right now, we're probably outraised by about $800,000. It still hasn't stopped people from reaching out and wanting to know the issues of Lisa Scheller. She's had back, Susan Wild has had back from Pete Buttigieg. She recently came in Thursday. She's had back from Hillary Clinton. She's had back from George Soros. But the one thing that we really need right now is grassroots activism, because that's something that we can take away from us. So we need people out there knocking doors, making phone calls, ensuring that Lisa Scheller is the right person to do the job. And knocking on these people's doors, not only talking about who is causing this inflation, but also talking about who the right person is to stop this inflation. Alright, now, there are two ways that you can really get involved, and as I talked about it before, the biggest way is really doors and phones. Alright, somebody goes to your door, they say, hi, my name is Billy, for example. I'm Billy, I'm with the Lisa Scheller campaign. I just want to talk to you a little bit about the issues that are going on with inflation, talking about inflation, talking about abortion, talking about all the kind of issues, and this is what Lisa Scheller has to really stand for. Now, this is exactly what we need right now. We need people out there making phone calls, knocking doors, letting people know about the issues. We need people handing out or stuffing envelopes and making sure we're getting people to really get involved. One of the ways to get involved, please contact me, please talk to Zach, please talk to Ryan. I know we're doing a lot of work with Jimmy Zumba. We need to really get out there and talk to people. We really need to push the issues. We really need people to go out there and explain who Lisa Scheller is, why Susan Wild is bad for this country, why Susan Wild is the reason that our gas prices are nearly $5, and why Lisa Scheller will actually bring this back to common sense solutions. So if you want to get involved, please talk to me. I'll be here the rest of the night. Please talk to Zach. Please talk to Jimmy. Please talk to Jimmy Zumba as well. We're really trying to push this issue, push this narrative, trying to get Republicans to win the entire slate. We can't do that without you guys. We absolutely need to talk about the issues, and we absolutely need you guys to talk to all your friends, talk to your small businesses, talking to veterans, talking to small business owners who are really being affected in those, and we can't do it without you guys. So, thank you.
We talked a lot about the conservative businesses and supporting each other and sort of developing an alternate economy, and that's what needs to happen. Andrew's going to run.
Okay. How much? 275, 205, 48250, 0548250. Which is my ticket. One more call. 05.
He's got it.
48250, if you can come back here to verify your number. Come up right here, you have the number.
Thank you. All right. Franklin, can you move the slide? Okay, you made a mistake, you gave me a microphone. I just want to tell everyone, we are on the right path. I believe we are close to victory. If we can finally evaluate ourselves and stop this petty bickering amongst ourselves, stop saying that certain candidates aren't conservative enough, it doesn't matter right now. The left is out to destroy our very way of life, and we cannot allow this to happen. And we need to turn to those people, those very people who even showed up here tonight, to try to challenge us for their challenges to the so-called establishment and say, stop. It can't keep going on. We must save our communities, our families. They're out to get us. They're talking with our Department of Justice saying that the Gadsden flag is a sign of domestic terrorism. They have sent FBI agents to school board attendees to say you are now a domestic terrorist because you dare to challenge what the school board is saying. Continue to stand up. If you get afraid, they're going to come and knock down your door anyway. So God be with every one of you. We'll see you next month. Thank you. God bless you for coming out today.